Good morning. Welcome to the Oregon Fly Fishing Blog. We're going to do a little tying this morning. We're going to start out with a tube fly for Chinook salmon. So first of all, we're going to have our Pro Tube needle inserted in our vise, slip on our junction tube, Pro Tube micro, slide that clear in there until we seat it, and then I'm going to put on a large drop weight. But you can use whatever size suits your fishing conditions. Just happens to be that this fly is intended for me to fish in the estuary, so we get some tide changes and the currents start ripping. First of all, we're going to tie in some Hairline barred rabbit strip. I'm going to leave this a little bit long. And I can trim it up later to the length. I tend to get them wrong length when I'm tying the fly, and then afterwards I'm looking at it and I want to add some inches to it and I can't. Next, I'm going to use some dyed UV polar chenille in chartreuse. When you're wrapping this, just kind of stroke the fibers to lay them back. Otherwise you end up matting them down and okay. So that's in there. Now we're going to use a strung Chinese saddle hackle in chartreuse. Just a couple wraps of this. Next, we're going to use black marabou sparingly. We're going to tie this in kind of like a spay hackle.
Just exposing the tip there.
Exposing the tip, striking or stroking the materials back, and then cutting the tip. You can see what we've got here. This stuff can be a little tough to work with. Kind of pull your materials. It doesn't hurt to get it a little wet. It gets the flyaways out of there. Again, this is not something you want to put a ton of wraps on. You're just adding some contrast to the fly. So what I usually do is when I get to the length I want, I kind of strip some fibers off of there. Tie that off. A little zap-a-gap. Lay your thread sideways. Coat that a little bit. Pull your materials back. Wrap. Don't need to whip finish. Cut that. Add your cone. Okay. I'm going to slide this off of here. I'm going to move my vise a little bit. I'm going to pull the materials back. Hold this on the edge. Take the razor blade. Cut it fairly close. Okay. Now, blue part of the flame. Done. Now I have to decide the length that I want this, so I'm just going to slide this back on here for a second. and that's a Mahi sandwich.